To be here. I am Crystal Jewelz, host of Liberation Nation, founder of Liberation Nation. We have our new co-hosts here in the studio with us, and we are just so glad to have Miss CIERA. This is automatic suicide. I don't know why I think about that every time.
Everybody does. I've been dealing with that ever since high school.
I'm so sure that you have. So we are just so excited and elated to have you here on Liberation Nation podcast, holistic podcast here. And so thank you for being here and welcome to our. Okay, this is Liberation Nation podcast, season 2, episode 1. Purpose is calling. And so we are so glad to be here on today. Welcome to our holistic empowerment podcast. And we have been uniquely designed to empower, educate, and entertain your mind, body, spirit, and soul into living and sustaining a purposeful life. And so here, as you join us on a weekly basis, you will find that we will have an affirmation that we will say together in unity. We believe that where 2 or 3 are gathered, there our Creator is in the midst. That's when things can happen. That's when shifts are made. That's when we have the most power, when we unite. So if you will please join me and join us in reciting our affirmation. Our affirmation for today. Repeat after me. I am uniquely and wonderfully made. I am beautiful. I am confident. I am valuable. I am royalty. And I will win victoriously. If you believe that, that means you do a snap too, honey. Yes. You better affirm that, believe that. If you haven't affirmed anything on this week, guess what? On Wednesdays, Winning Wednesdays, we're going to make sure you get it in, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. So make sure you stay tuned in. All right. Up next, again, for our hot topic of today, it's called Purpose is Calling. And our special guest for our show today is none other than yours truly, the host, Crystal Jewelz. So yes, I am just so excited to be here. I am guest number 1 for our first show, and that is intentional. We have our co-host coming to join us for the first half, and then we're going to be interviewing her as well, because we wanted you to be able to get to know us, to really engage with us, to get to know our personalities, to learn our passions, to learn our desires, and that is to serve you in any way, shape, or form in terms of empowering, educating, and entertaining you. And so again, hello, I am Crystal Jewelz. I am the founder of Liberation Nation. We are a community service agency where we have volunteer services, servers that is ready for different community actions and community events where there may be support that is needed. And so what we do is we train, we recruit, and we send out, and we service the community. That is the heart of Liberation Nation. We live to serve our community, and not just here locally, right? Because we do want to focus in locally, but we want to do this globally. We want to do this worldwide. That's why we're called Liberation Nation. We have come to free our people, our minds, our bodies, our spirits, and soul. That's where it starts first. And that's why we focus in on that. So thank you for partnering with us and uniting with us on this, in this movement. Pretty much I just wanted to share just a little bit from my heart. I know some of you may have been listeners or viewers from our season 1, which was amazing. We aired straight out of Atlanta, Georgia, back in 2019 with IBNX Network, a radio network there. Great experience there. Big up to Trish Clark for giving me my first opportunity to be a podcast host. I just knew I love people. I knew I love conversation. I love to share the wealth of knowledge and God's love. And so I know that I have a voice, that is to be heard. We all have a story to be told. And so, not just, I didn't want to create a platform, not just solely for me, but for others as well, with different lifestyles, different career paths, different obligations in regards to lifestyles to be able to share on one accord holistically about nurturing our mind, body, spirits, and soul. Because if we don't take care of ourselves as a whole, we won't be fruitful. We won't be able to produce. We won't be able to do all that we want to do for others, right? We overly extend ourselves in so many different ways, and then we don't replenish ourselves. And so that's where Liberation Nation comes in, to be a reminder, to be a support, and to inspire you towards living a purpose driven life. And so that has been the core of what we have been doing. We are advocates of domestic violence awareness, as I am a survivor, an 8-year going on 9-year survivor of domestic violence. And so that's why you see the purple balloons here. We're representing, even though we have our green on representing St. Patty's Day that is to come. But definitely, in terms of our heart, in terms of our charity, we give back towards domestic violence. For domestic violence awareness. And so you'll be hearing a lot more about that, but that was the actual initiative for season one. And so now season two, we're going into um, finding, identifying, and evolving our purpose in life. And I believe that's so important, because if we don't have purpose in life, we would just be existing, right? Yes, we would just be existing. And so, um, who wants to just exist? I mean, that's not what, our creator had intended for us to just exist. Not at all. And so, I'm here to help with identifying what purpose actually is and what that means to you. Do you know? Are you living in your purpose? Do you know what your purpose is? Are you walking it out? Okay, are you walking in purpose? And so these are certain things that we just should think about, and on a daily basis, because every day that we're blessed with, every day that we have life, that our Creator breathes air into our lungs and give us movement in our limbs to be able to go on throughout the day. It's not just to live to go to work every day and go to make the dollar every day, or to be a mother to your children every day, and that's it, or a father, vice versa. It's so much more that our Creator has designed and predestined for our lives. Predestined is before we were even born, even thought about. Our Creator already had us penciled in on a timeline and giving us a purpose for our existence. So that's why you shouldn't just exist, because you have a purpose, and that's the whole drive through this life, is to try to find your purpose so that you can live it out, and be a great positive impact during your time here on this earth. And so I just wanted to actually right now kind of bring in the co-host, CIERA, very quickly, because I would like to have conversation, even though I'm going through these different notions, because we're diving right into season two. Purpose is calling, and so it's so needed right now. It's so prominent right now with everything that's going on in the world today. Sierra, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome and amazing. And so, again, so glad to have you. And so, I was just here talking to the people about purpose. And and what that looks like. And so, um, defining actually what purpose is, the the definition that's given for purpose is solely the reason for which something is done or created, or for which something exists. You heard exists?
Yeah.
Okay. So, exist again. We are not made to just exist. We are here to exist for a reason. That's the difference, okay? Or that's more to elaborate on that definition. And just to kind of dissect that a little bit more, the reason for which something is done.
Mhm.
So, the reason you were born and God granted you life and put you into your mother's womb and she birthed you out, right? We were born into sin,
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
but thank God that, He gave us a way to be able to be renewed
Yes.
and cleansed from our sins.
Yes.
And that's when we come to the understanding that we are a part of a royal priesthood.
Yes.
And when we understand that we are part of a royal priesthood, that is being kingdom minded.
Kingdom.
Okay. So, again, holistically, when we're talking about mind, body, spirit, and soul, everything starts with the mind, right? Everything starts with the mind. And so that mind is actually the devil's playground.
Absolutely.
Okay. And so when we think of the mind and the mental state that we have to be in
Mhm.
just to exist,
Mhm.
just to get through the day, just to be able to complete the assignments, the tasks, the obligations, and responsibilities we have, that's a lot of mental power that
Yes.
we're putting out on a daily.
Yes.
So that's why it's told to us to renew our minds daily,
Yes.
right? So
Mhm.
when we're renewing our minds daily, then that is giving us a reason to live,
Mhm.
because there's some type of hope that still lies in you, that when you're blessed with life every day, it's still something that is allowing you to get up and move. Whether you are sluggy luggy, whether you depressed, whether you stressed, whether you frustrated, whether you full of life, whether you are excited about the day and what is to come and to explore the new discoveries that it has to offer, it still is a lot of mental capacity there,
Mhm.
that is being used. And so when we understand reasoning of things, then that should give us a better perspective
Mhm.
of how we should go about living a purposeful life,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Also, it says, or created. Okay. So that means that your creator created you for a reason. So now we have to figure out this reason, and
Mhm.
the reason is purpose.
Mhm.
Okay. And so that's the joy of the journey of living this life.
Mhm.
Life can suck all like suck everything out of us, right?
Right.
It can suck everything out of us. But in the same sense, if we are renewing our minds daily, that's giving us hope for tomorrow, then we're doing way better than just existing. We're actually doing what our creator designed us to do.
Absolutely.
And so knowing that this flesh is still spirit
Mhm.
first.
You're right.
Don't get it twisted. It's
Right.
spirit first.
Yes.
By us being spirit first, we were created for purpose. And then it says, or for which something exists.
Mhm.
Okay. So again, it just signifies that you're not here by mistake.
No.
You're not here by accident. I don't care who tried to get rid of you. I don't care who didn't want you no more. You're still here. And so that is more reason to want to live life and figure out why you're still here. Do something that is going to be, that's going to bring satisfaction to your heart, to your spirit, to your soul. And now you're living life. You're thriving. Even in surviving, you still can thrive.
Yeah.
But it starts from your mental. And so I just wanted to kind of break that down here in regards to purpose so we can understand what that is. CIERA, I wanted to bring you in. I know I have been going on. I was dropping on me right here. But if you wanted to add anything on to what I was saying in regards to defining what purpose is, we would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. So I think that we have to figure out the purpose of everything in life. I heard you say, it doesn't matter who wants you or who left you or however the case may be. And we have to understand that God is a very strategic God. So if the situation that you so desire doesn't work out, once again, there's a reason, there's a purpose why it didn't work out, because there might be something greater that you have to do, that you can't take this person along. And that could be family, it could be a spouse, it could be a job, it could be anything, it could be a hobby, anything that is blocking the way of your growth. You have to figure out, and understand and accept that even that has a purpose as well. As you said, like when you said that you were created and and it exists, I feel like, God makes no mistakes. He knew us before he even put us in our mother's womb. So he already knew the path that we were going to choose. And he still said, I want to breathe life in you for a reason. I know your mistakes. I know this. I know that. I know what you're going to do. I know what you're not going to do. But you're still worth it, which is why he sent his son, Jesus, because he knew that we couldn't take, the penalties of sin. He had to wrap himself in flesh and literally come down here and live a sinless life so that he could save us. And that was Jesus's purpose. So I feel like I agree with 100% a lot of the things that you said. I think purpose is a very hard thing for people to understand. And I think that's one of the main reasons why people shut down. Because most of the time people say, I don't know what my purpose is. And when you don't know your purpose, it's easy access for the enemy to play, like you said, in these people's minds.
So yes, so this definitely goes right into another question that I had for the people, and that's, do you have a connection with your creator? I was hearing you speak about God, and I was hearing you speak about Jesus, and I know some listeners, we all, it's a lot of different beliefs out there, right? Yes, it's a lot of different religions, and things of that nature. And so this is the core of our holistic empowerment, is Christian based, but more spirituality in regards to a relationship versus religion. And so this is so important, again, as we're speaking of the mental capacity of being whole and identifying our purpose. And that starts with you actually having a connection with your creator, with you having a relationship with your creator, because that's the only one you really can consult with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Through prayer, through meditation. Prayer is when you make your request known, right? Yeah. You're talking to God. You're letting him know your heart, even though he already knows your heart's desires. But you're talking to him, and setting up your prayers to him. Meditation is a time to listen, to hear what your creator is saying to you. So understanding those two components are so powerful when it comes on to understanding the reason why you even exist. because when you do that, he is going to manifest certain signs, certain wonders, certain miracles to you to indicate to you that he's present in your life.
Absolutely.
So whether you accept him or not, whether you do embrace him or not, he's always present. He's omnipresent. Okay. And so understanding this again, that it's not all about just this flesh here. We are spirit first. And so we have certain capabilities that's been given to us when we utter up our prayers and we listen and tune in through our meditations. And then you will see how things will start to come to light. You know, how you'll be able to identify your strengths, right? You'll be able to identify your passions through life experiences. You'll be able to understand better the reasoning for certain things, circumstances, or things happening, or how things elevate, how we live dimensional. And so that only can come through your connection with your creator. Isn't that right, CIERA?
We have to always remember that his ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts. So even when we think this way or we appear this way, the reason why I feel like it's a very important thing to do as far as being connected to your creator is because we can easily fall into the opinions of others. We can easily fall into, oh, well, that's not right, or you're not going to do this, or you're not going to do that. You're not capable because your mama didn't. You're not capable because your dad didn't. You can't go to school because no one in your family graduated, whatever the case may be. His ways are not our ways and his thoughts are not our thoughts. That's not what he said about your life. He didn't bring you down here to do something like that. You know what I mean? He brought you here for a reason, and whatever your reason is, you have to walk in it. And in order to walk in it, you have to get the direction and the guidance of your creator.
Right. And don't be afraid when he starts showing you those signs and wonders and those miracles, because he is a real God. And so when you have that connectivity with you, he's going to be present in your life.
Absolutely.
And so sometimes a lot of, we pray and ask for certain things. And then when they happen, we shy, we get fearful. We're like, oh, okay, this is a bit too much. I don't know about all this. Oh, I ain't asked for all this. I didn't know it was going to require all this just to get to the blessing. But trust and believe that your creator will never give you more than what you can bear. Number one. So you were built for it. Whatever it is, you were built for it. So it's actually going through it to get to the other side, which is victory. When you talk about we will win victoriously. So it's getting through. It's the process, right? Oh, all the time. It's that process. And it's the unknown, not knowing when this is going to happen or what the turnout is going to be or what is this even about. Or I don't have, the doubt sets in. Maybe I'm not feel like I'm qualified or, I'm not worthy enough. It could be a lot of different reasons that the enemy comes and plays with that mind again. And so that is another reminder when we start having all this stuff going on in our mind that we need to go sit with our creator and get our minds right and get back into perspective and get back into alignment or get into alignment so that we can walk in purpose, walk with purpose, live on purpose. And so I just wanted to touch on a couple more things very briefly before we actually wrap it up. In finding purpose, right? So we've talked about connecting with the creator first so that he can lead and guide you on this journey, on this path for the purpose, for the destiny that he's already made for you. And so with this comes finding our identity. right?
Yeah.
So finding our identity, who we are, okay? It is no age. Age ain't nothing but a number, okay? It is just a number, baby, you know? So we all are trying to figure this thing out, from the young to the old, from the old to the middle age, okay? And so um, it starts when we're younger, developing, going through childhood, puberty, peer pressure, acceptance, all this starts to create during our childhood, right? That molds us into the adults that we turn out to be today. Okay. And this now has molded us into this certain identity that has been created based upon our life experiences, our traditions, our cultures, our upbringings. All of this is has created our identity, right? So with that being said, because CIERA, did you ever say so when you came up out your mother womb?
Oh no.
Did you ever say so when they came and tapped you on your bum to make sure that you was gonna scream and holler?
No, I didn't have no say so at that point.
Did you ever say so which household you was gonna go to and what kind of money y'all was gonna be making and how life was gonna be?
No, I had an idea, but I didn't have a say so.
And have no say so,
Right.
right? So when you don't have a say so, you're just brought into these different traditions, these different ways of life, these different lifestyles that we don't even have a choice
Right.
to begin with. So
Right.
now that we've coming into adulthood, and if you are a teenager and you're coming into being a teenager and a young adult, um, it's so important to just be authentically you.
Yes.
Just to really embrace all of you.
Yes.
Because guess who knows you best?
Yes.
Your creator
Yes.
and you.
And you.
Not even your mother or your father. They know you a good bit. But when you're by yourself
Mm-hmm.
or behind closed doors or environments where you have to make your own decisions and you can't ask someone else's opinion or what they thought or what they might do, and you have to make those decisions yourself, you have to learn how to be authentically you,
Yes.
because people, family, blood especially, will call you all kinds of things that will mess your whole mental up,
Seriously.
especially when you are chosen, especially when you are called by God, your
Yeah.
creator, of course. So finding identity, who you are, what you like, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. It's
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
We have to face them. It's okay. Our weaknesses is what is the work that we do to keep improving ourselves. Our strengths, we got it.
Yes.
We definitely want to exercise them so that we can keep them strong.
Mm-hmm.
But we good with that because we can pretty much do all of that in our sleep with our eyes closed.
Yes. Yes.
But it's the weaknesses that takes the work. It's the weaknesses that build the character. It's the weaknesses that truly show who you are, right?
Right.
So identity is so important. We're going to talk more about that in episode 2 as well. So finding your identity, being authentically you, embracing all of you, flaws and all, your strengths and weaknesses, and then seeing how you can allow for your strengths to play in your favor,
Mm-hmm.
and how you can continue to do the self work with your weaknesses. And so that's just so key, just to self development, to making yourself more valuable, so that you can feel worthy enough. It's so much we can tab in, right, Sierra, when it comes to that. I just wanted to speak on that. And then lastly, with purpose, we said identity, right? It's so important to figure out when on the quest for purpose, but also your niche.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to bring you around to your niche, meaning your tribe, your people, your
Mm-hmm.
audience, your true supporters, your ride or dies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's your niche.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the niche is where you're gonna pull your strength from. You don't want people in your cipher that is going to be leeches and that are going to be crabs and that are going to be snakes,
Dead weight.
because all that's going to do is to deter you from your purpose. And we don't know what our timestamp is here. So yes, every day counts.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't get. Do you get this here when people like I'm like, hey, how you doing? They be like, same old, same old.
Right.
Or I don't know. I don't know. You got it. I don't know. You got it. Why you don't know?
What?
The same old? No, this is a whole new day. What you mean the same old, same old? You know, so we so accustomed to saying stuff, right? Just because that's all we know, right? There go that tradition. We
Yeah.
caught up in.
Or even I think even too, in speaking on that situation, I think people have to understand the purpose of separation.
Mm,
That's important. A
mm,
lot of people take separation as a punishment, and I
mm,
don't necessarily think that that's the purpose of separation. I think the purpose of separation is to separate you from the world, because he said be in the world and not of the world.
right,
But he's trying to separate you from the world to give you that identity that you're talking about. He's
right.
trying to show you your gifts. He's trying to show you your strengths. He's trying to show you, your weaknesses through, you might have made a mistake, and it's not like, oh man, I did it again. It's more of, you should think of it, I still got work to do in that area.
That
You-
part.
I think also that
Mentality.
in in separation, I think people have a lot of distractions, especially with technology nowadays. It's easy for us to have a moment to ourselves, and what we do, we on TikTok,
Yep.
we on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Our children on the games. We don't have that time of quietness, and
No,
that's meaningful. That's filled with purpose, because, like you said, that's the time that we can receive from our Creator, and get our direction and things of that nature. So I think all as people have work to do in understanding the purpose of separation, and even the purpose of distractions, because everything has a purpose. So,
absolutely. Definitely. Like it's just I love that the separation and isolation. Um, that's why our creator said that we are a peculiar people.
peculiar.
So it's okay if they. Why you want to be like everybody else?
Because why?
You know, all of the trends. Everybody want to do it what everybody else is doing.
Yes.
But is that your purpose? Is
It's
that what God has, your creator has designed you for?
right.
Is that mhm,
I just feel like if he wanted us to be the same, he would have just made us robots from the beginning.
period?
I
That's what
mean,
he's trying to do now.
like, let's be honest here.
Literally.
Right. We're meant to be different. You're meant to be good at something that I'm not good at. I'm meant to be good at something that you're not good at. And then we learn from each other, you
That's
know.
it. That's it. From the old to the young to the young to the old. It
Yes,
goes both ways.
yes.
We all can learn from one another. Our elders can learn from the youth, and our youth can learn from the elders the same way. That
Absolutely.
stubbornness has to go. Because what is that for?
Right. I mean, like, seriously.
For? Didn't you experience? I think all of us have had experiences.
Yes.
Life be life, and for all of we.
All the way.
So why do you think that anyone else is exceptional of anything? No, not at all. And
No.
so with understanding the whole circle of purpose. It's all about the connectivity with your creator first and foremost, right? Because
Yes.
that's where you're going to get your insight. That's where you're going to get your signs. That's when you're going to get the wonders, the miracles. Every day I live for the discoveries that my creators have for me for that day. So, regardless, good, bad, or ugly, it's something inside that circumstance
Mm-hmm.
that God allowed to happen and needed to happen for whatever reason.
Yes.
If it was to bring me happiness, if it was to bring a smile on my face for that day,
Yes.
if it was to teach me how to keep my mouth closed, if it was to show me how to better steward my money and my finances, whatever these circumstances happen, we're so quick to blame it on somebody
Ooh,
and not take ownership for ourselves,
accountability is major.
because that's what really builds our character and
Yes.
helps us to stay true to thyself.
Mm,
All my people that's 100. All my people that's keeping it real.
keeping it real.
You know what I mean? You got to first start with yourself.
Gotta look in the mirror.
Okay? You
That's
got to
what, and then what Michael Jackson said. I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
start with the man in the mirror. I'm talking about the man in the mirror.
Oh
I love it. I love the ad lib. So the man in the mirror, the woman in the mirror, the child, the youth, the kid in the mirror.
yeah.
Okay. It starts there first. And so, with having that connection with your creator to help identify who you are and stay true to who you are, and then to help find your niche, the ones that's really there for you, that's going to support you, hold you accountable, want to see you elevate and evolve, and is going to push you in those directions instead of pull you away, instead of suck all the life out of you. They're going to be speaking life into you. Like, that's the quest that
Yes.
you should be on a daily basis. While you saying it's the same old, and you around the same old people that ain't doing the same old nothing.
Same
And you
result.
trying to figure it out.
Right. You just gonna get the same results. You gotta do something different.
Yes.
Different. And we have to honestly accept, and this is personal experience of mine. It's just accepting, like, going back to the niche. It might not be who you think it is, or who you think it's supposed to be, or who you even want it to be. And oof,
That part. And
that's
that's
a
a whole other thing, because
whole.
especially when it's been those persons that might have did something to you, hurt you, or something like that. And yeah, that's a whole nother situation. Yeah. But that's that niche thing, right? Purpose, identity, niche. Okay. And then just, understanding the different roles within our lives. Each role that we play within our lives has a purpose. So we have an overall purpose for us personally, right?
Yes.
Which we should all have a vision
Mm-hmm.
and a mission statement for our lives. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to tell you about that next week. For your life, just like in a business. In a business, there's purpose, there's vision, there's mission you have to have when you are structuring your business. The same thing goes for your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's so important to understand that part. So you have an overall purpose for yourself. Then whether you a daughter, son, mother, father, wife, husband, whatever it is, your role in your career, in your lifestyle, if you're a manager, if you're a worker, if you, whatever role it is, any type of obligations, commitments that you are engaged in, there's a purpose behind it. Okay. It's a purpose for everything that we utilize, even down to the different devices and equipments and cars we drive and houses we live in. Like, it's a purpose for that. And so just, learning to understand what that is. It's a purpose for your family, it's a purpose for your bloodline. These are things that we could be journaling on a daily basis. Journaling is a great tool when it comes onto your mental health in regards to release, in regards to um, being able to visually see the things that are going on inside of your brain and what your thoughts really are. To be able to write out and assess your progress that you're making, um, living a purposeful life, a purpose driven life. So, journaling is so important when it comes on to another component of keeping you whole. And so when we write down what we feel our purpose is within these different positions that we hold in this life, we then offer it back up to our creator in prayer
Yes.
to continue to ask him to lead and guide you on what it is he wants you to do in regards to these positions and roles. That's the reasoning, and that's where the purpose comes from. That is what creates legacy. When you're purposeful within your positions in life, you now are in a legacy mind state and in a way of living in regards to life after you. Okay? So that's why it's important if you didn't know the importance of it before. Okay. And that's why we wanted to start our first episode with this, because this is core. This is the foundation. This is laying the bricks right here. Is starting with you, starting with us, and really understanding what, or coming to understand what this life is all about, why we were created, what we are to do while we're here, and how this can set us up for future generations. That's what existence is. Okay. And so, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up. This purpose is calling, because I'm telling you, you definitely, definitely don't want to miss next episode 2. It's called Answer the Call. Okay. Hello. Are you going to answer the call? Okay, and so we'll speak more about some of these different components on next time. CIERA, do you want to give us some last closing remarks in regards to purpose? And, we touched on a lot of different things in a short amount of time that we definitely, I know, going to have to come back and elaborate on a little bit more intimately. But if
Yes.
you could just give us your closing remarks.
I just think that we should go back to the affirmation and really understand the purpose of I am wonderfully made, and that we can live victoriously. No matter the trials, no matter the tribulations, no matter any of the things that we go through, like you said, everything has a purpose. And within that purpose, like you said, it builds character. As we go along, we're laying bricks, like you said, basically. And just always remember that you wouldn't be here if you didn't have a purpose. I mean, literally,
Hello.
right, the things that you go through, sometimes they're not for yourself. And sometimes, yes, we have to take these hard blows. And yes, we have to go through so much this and so much that. And we can look at somebody else's life and it looks like it's just peaches, rainbows, sunshine every day. But we never know what's going on behind the scenes of their life either. They had some things they had to go through as well. And just always remember not to want what another person has, because you're here with your gifts. You're here for a reason. You're here to help someone and to be helped. And just to love and grow. And that's what we do here. We love, we grow, we become whole. You come apart, we become whole.
Absolutely, absolutely. Together we win. That's
Yes.
something I like to. That's one of my slogans I use within my business. Together we win, and that's true. No man is an island. And honey, when you tried yourself, it's way more tougher, way more harder. I don't care. You might could have got through, but guess what? You could have got through way better if you had support. The right support though. Let's make that clear. And that support may not look like a big vast, you know, support system, but you want to make sure that your immediate circle, your immediate cipher is layered that way, is woven that way, because that's going to be the best thing for you, for your mental state, for your just physical overall, well-being. And so, we want to make sure that we are nurturing ourselves, our minds, mentally through prayer, through meditation, through inspirational speakings, through vibrational sounds, through the Word of God, the basic instructions before leaving Earth, through different resources, books, audio, to help in those different areas of our lives that we wish to develop, that we wish to alleviate, because there's a lot of things that we just need to let go. And to be able to live a purposeful life, because it's so much that can hold us down. And so it's just so key to make sure that even our physical bodies, are in tune, intact. We're going to talk about that next week, in regards to what you are imparting internally into your body with the foods that we eat. And then externally, what type of exercising, working out are we doing? We have Jump Fit 3.0, Just You Move Productions, which is our virtual fitness club, the home of the 6 and 12-week challenges. And so we look forward to partnering with you throughout the season in some different fitness challenges that we have that's brewing. And so, spirit wise, again, it's so important to stay connected there, because that's where we started first. And then, soul, with your soul, being able to identify your passions, that your strengths, these create opportunities. You heard the main word, create. So never think that you have a missed opportunity, or an opportunity never comes to knock on your door, because God has pretty much gifted all of us to be able to create. When you can make something out of nothing, you might not have strong innovative skills, but you know how to put one and two together to make three.
Yes.
So, with that being said, it's just that important to be able to focus in on those things. And then when we do that, then our cup is full, right? Then we're more fruitful. Then we are more prevalent. Then we can provide more. Then we can be more of a service when we are completely whole. We don't want to be phony to ourselves and within ourselves, and then try to be real and 100 with everybody else. It starts with us first. And so remembering that you are uniquely, wonderfully made. You are beautiful. You are intelligent. You are confident. You are valuable. You are royalty. You will win victoriously. So all it takes is for you to believe that within your spirit and soul, and then act it out, living a purposeful life. And so we were going to end it there on today. With that, we are so glad that you have stayed locked in with us here. We have so much wonderful jewels to drop, to share with you. We have exciting guests that are to come. I believe we have about 10 episodes and one special edition, 11 episodes to look forward to, okay? So we're going to be riding this on out. We hope you ride this on out with us during this time because, honey, you don't want to miss it. It's going to get spicy, it's going to get juicy, it's going to get real, it's going to be deep, but just know that this is a safe place to be able to express, to share, to unite. This is great soil, fertile ground to sow on as well. And you definitely will be entertained. We will be bringing exposure to different local artists, all artists from all over, whether we play their music videos or we have them live here in the studio. You definitely will be greatly entertained. And if you happen to would like to be a guest on Liberation Nation podcast, we would definitely share that information, contact information for you to be able to reach out, send us an email of inquiry, as well as if you are an artist and would like to share our platform here, definitely you can reach out to us as well. And for advertisement, if you have special events that's happening in your city, in your state, within your community, we would love to know about it, to see how we can support the best way we can. And if it's by word of mouth, honey, hey, that's what we are here for. And so we definitely appreciate you again for tuning in. CIERA, you have something on the way out you want to say to the people to leave with them?
Mm. I can't wait till next episode.
Hey, let's go. Well, we have enjoyed you, Sierra. We cannot wait till episode 2 to learn more about you and you beautiful queen. And yeah, that's going to be all for now. So definitely stay tuned. Definitely stay locked in because we have your inspiration for today coming up. We have your laughter for your soul. Okay. And then it's a wrap up that will be following so we can recap this phenomenal show that we have had on today and then give you a little sneak peek of what's to look forward to in season 2. So thank you again for tuning in. God bless. Big up yourself. We look forward to all of you hearing about all of your wins, and definitely stay safe out there, y'all. Okay. One love. Peace.